योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्ताम् सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यां च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्. The fourth shloka in Vishnu Sahasranama is Sarva Sharva Shivastanu Bhutadirnitiravyayah Sambhavo Bhavano Bharta Prabhava Prabhurishwarah. There are altogether 12 words in this shloka. So I thought of splitting this shloka into two as first line and second line. In the first line itself, there are 6 words, and in the second line, there are 6 words. So, in this video, I would like to share with you the meaning of the first 6 words of this shloka. That is the meaning, all the meanings of the first line. The words in this first line of verse 4, shloka 4 of Vishnu Sahasranama is Sarva Sharva Shiva Sthanuhu Bhutatir Nidhiravyayah. So the meaning of the word Sarva is everything. Bhagavan Vishnu as Parabrahman, he pervades everything, both the sentient and insentient beings. He is that existence in itself in which this entire universe exists. There is not even a dot in this entire creation where Bhagavan Vishnu is not there. He is the creator of this universe. The entire creation exists in him, and he is the destroyer of this entire creation also. In the end, in the time of Pralaya, the universe itself rests in him. So he is called as a Sarva, everything. What all you see is another form of Brahman. Only the form and the mind it differs, and because of that, it is different from Brahman. But in reality, everything is Brahman, and so Bhagavan Vishnu, he is also said as Brahman, is called Sarvaha. The next meaning in this verse is Sharva, that is Sakara, and this is Shakara, Sharva. Sharva means destroyer. He destroys the wicked mind and he disintegrates the form. That is, he kills the asuras. Bhagavan Vishnu, as a destroyer, he destroys the wicked minds. Destroy means he doesn't just destroy that person and enjoy over his death and like what we see in films. It's not like that. He transforms the wicked mind and he make that mind to take another form. According to that prarabdha karma, the asuras may take or may not take another form. During Pralaya, all the sentient and insentient beings, Sat and Asat, has to be reverted into the form that was prior to creation. That is the beginning of the creation. Prior to that, they are in the form of seeds. That is potential thoughts. So they have to be reverted back to that original form itself. Only then the new creation can take place. That is possible. So he is the destroyer. And it is said that Bhagavan Vishnu meditated on Lord Rudra, Bhagavan Rudra, to get this power of destruction. Bhagavan Rudra induced that power in the Sudarshana chakra, and Bhagavan Vishnu accepted that power and he is having in his hand. So, with that Sudarshana chakra, he destroys the evil mind as well as during Pralaya, he uses that Sudarshana chakra to destroy everything. Sudarshana means Sudarshana, that is the good or right vision, which means the power of destruction means it is that highly positive power. The very high positive power, before that, nothing evil can survive. So, when that Sudarshana chakra is used to destroy an Ashura, the evil mind of the Ashura is transformed into positive mind and his body is disintegrated and he may take another form. So that's the meaning of a destruction. In fact, destruction itself is an event or happening prior to creation. So destruction means it is not something, it's not a waste or it is not, Bhagavan is not cruel to destroy everything just like that, like what we imagine. Bhagavan Vishnu changes the mind of the wicked person that so that it will no longer disturb the world and he disintegrates that form. And so Bhagavan Vishnu is called Sarva. The direct meaning of Sarva is destroyer. Many people will think that Shiva or Sarva means Bhagavan Parameshwara or Rudra. As I said before, all these are for our human level of understanding. Even the jnanis, they don't recognize Bhagavan with the name or form. For them, everything is Brahman doing particular action, performing particular role or action. So Sharva and Shiva, Sthanam, all these names are common for Bhagavan Shiva also. In Shiva Sahasranama, that is said by Bhagavan Krishna himself. In that, Bhagavan Krishna say these same words to explain Bhagavan Shiva. That is, he is a Tasthano, he is a Sarva, he is a Sarvatma. It's all for our level of understanding. Even when we go above certain level of understanding, we don't see the difference. It's all Param Brahman doing certain roles. For example, if a person is there, he may be a son to his parents, a father to his children, a brother to his sister, an executive in his office. So he plays different roles in different situations. And his form, his nature, everything will change according to his role. For example, when he behaves with his parents, his behavior will be in one way. When he go to office, his behavior will be in another way. That doesn't mean that person who is in the role, acting in the role of a son, is a different and entirely different from the executive in the office. He's that same person doing different roles. When he performs that action, when he takes up that role, he behave like that, just like that. It is all the supreme consciousness Brahman doing the role of Shiva, doing the role of Vishnu, and doing the role of Brahma itself. The next meaning is Shiva. Shiva means anything Mangala or auspicious. Why Bhagavan Vishnu is said as a Shiva? Very beautiful meaning for the word Shiva is given in the Mandukya Upanishad in the seventh mantra. Brahman is a Shiva, and why Brahman is called Shiva? Because it is Adrishta. You cannot see it. Avyavaharya. He doesn't involve in this transactional reality or he knows about the transactional reality, so he is empowered that transactional reality. He doesn't involve in it. Agrahya. Agrahya means you cannot hold it by our organs or by our sense organs. It is not perceivable by the sense organs. Alakshana. You cannot describe or define it. There is no special characteristics for it. Achintya, you cannot think about Atma or Brahman. Avyabadeshya, it cannot be grasped by the mind. Only then we can explain it or describe it. Even the jnanis, when they come out of the meditation, if you ask them how was Brahman, they cannot describe. They just cannot, because it is cannot be grasped by the mind. During that meditation they will be out of that mind, so they all these concepts will not be clear to the mind. Only when something is can be perceived by the mind, we can explain it. So it cannot be grasped by the mind. Avyavadesya prapanchopashamam, that is the entire creation merges in Brahman. Yehatma pratyasaram, so you cannot think about it, you cannot hold it, you cannot say it. Then what is the proof that it is existing? Our existence itself is the proof for it. I am existing, and all the other beings are also existing. That existence is the proof that Brahman is there. We cannot deny our existence. So that's the proof Brahman is existing. And Shantam. Shanta means it never changes, calmness. Why is it so calm and we are all so stressed? Because Brahman never changes. There is no change in Brahman. But our life, change is only permanent. So that's the reason we are so stressed. And when we have to be calm, we have to be in that, we have to shift our consciousness to Brahman or the self. So Brahman is not changing, immovable, and it doesn't change, and so it is always calm. Advaita, non-dual. There is no second for Brahman, and that's why it is Shiva. Shiva means auspicious, Mangala. Bhagavan Vishnu, he has all these qualities, and so he is called Shiva. The next word is sthanuhu. Acharya writes, Stiratvat sthanuhu. Because it is a firm, it is called sthanuhu. When something is, only when the base or something is sthanu, firm, anything can move on it. For example, I'm having a mouse and mouse pad near me. This mouse pad is sthanu, firm. Only then the mouse can move freely on it. Another example is the road is stano, firm. Only because it is stano, the vehicles can move on it. So Bhagavan Vishnu, he is stano. He is that existence on which we exist. We Jivatma exist and complete our prarabdha karmas. So to facilitate that, he is stano. He is immovable, firm. Even in Bhagavad Gita, the chapter 2, verse 24, in the second line, Bhagavan Krishna says, Nitya Sarvagada Sthanu Achala Ayam Sanatana. This Brahman is Nitya, ever present, Sarvagada, always all pervading, Sthanu, firm, Achala, not moving, and eternal. So that's the meaning of sthana, and why Bhagavan Vishnu is called as sthana is he is immovable, firm, and it is on that Vishnu we all exist. Some people, when they come over difficulties, they have a feeling that Bhagavan is ignoring us. He is our existence. He cannot deny or ignore us. And we exist in Him. We also cannot deny, ignore Bhagavan Vishnu. He is our existence. The next meaning is the Bhutati. Bhuta means the elements. He is present before all the beings came into existence. He is ancient, he is there even before the elements came into existence. These elements they came from the manifested Maya. That is, the manifested Maya came out the Prakriti, and the Prakriti came from it came the Ahankara, and from the tamasic Ahankara, all these Panchabhutas they came out. Elements they came one after the other. First, what came out was the Shabda, that is the primordial sound, which is Omkara. It all started with and it raised its voice and it raised its sound, and now the sound of the existence is and when it is during pralaya, it will everything will merge in makara. Mm. So om itself is the combination of three different sounds. Akara that is the sound which came out during evolution. Then Okara, now in the existence period, in Makara it will end everything. So when the sound of the space means you cannot hear the sound exactly like how we chant the mantras like Om, Om, that is chanting mantra. But we hear that Okara sound only in this existence, which implies that it started with A or it's existing, and with Makara everything will converge back to the that initial stage. So the Shabda came out, and along with it came the Akasha, that is the ether. And the special property of that ether element is, that is the Akashic element, is the Shabda. From that evolving Akasha came out wind, Vayu, with a special property of sparsha. Sparsha means that feeling, that touch sense. From that vibe, friction and all that came the other element, Tejas, and with the special property of Rupa form. Tejas means it has both light and heat, and its gross form is fire. And it expanded and expanded, everything expanded and became dense after some time, long, long after, like millions of years passed after that. And everything began to cool and condense, and they came together. And in that elements, that is particles, came out from that Tejas came out Apaha or Ambha, that is water. When I say water, it is not the water just like what we see in the river or what we see in waterfalls or ocean. That particles, that is that condensing, that they were all condensing together, they had the particles of water particles in it. Or when they condense or they merge together, there is the possibility or there is the presence of water particles in it. So that's the meaning of the Apa. Apa came out of it, that is water, with the special property of rasa, taste. So when this each one came out, evolved out, they all had the additional property as all the properties of the other elements. So when Vayu came out, Vayu evolved, it had the special property of sparsha with the other property Shabda. When Tejas evolved, it had the special property of Rupa along with Sparsha and Shabda. Now, Apa, water, it has the special property of a Rasa along with the other properties of the other elements, that is the Rupa, Sparsha, Shabda. So when Apa came out, when the water element came out, again it condensed and the matter or the dust particles separated and it became condensed more and more, and that's formed the matter that is called Prithvi. And the special property of Prithvi is Gandha, smell. And along with it, it had all the other properties. That is the Rasa, Rupa, Sparsha, and Shabda. So that's how the elements they evolved one after the other. And these elements, five elements, they again combined to form, they became refined, combined to form all the forms that we see in this universe. So that's how all the elements came out of this manifested Maya. And the manifested Maya itself came from Brahman, and Brahman is none other than Bhagavan Vishnu. And so he is called as the Bhudati. Before all these elements came, he is present. And Adi means beginning, Bhuta, beginning of the Bhutas. And that's why Bhagavan is also called Bhuta Brut. We see it in the first verse. Bhuta Brut. Elements came from him, all the five elements. And so Bhagavan is called as Bhutati. The next word is Nithirabhyaya. It can also be said as Abhyaya Nithi. Avyaya means cannot be destroyed. We saw it in the second verse. That is the second verse itself. Avyaya means cannot be destroyed, and Bhagavan Vishnu is beyond any destruction. Nithi in common palace, what we say is Niti means treasure. Treasure means we have what we mean is that some gems, precious gems, or gold, or anything, coins, gold coins, wealth. That is all this treasure. But for Bhagavan Vishnu, this treasure is not needed because this entire creation is the treasure for him. This entire creation during the time of Pralaya, it changes form and as a bija, as a seed, it emerges in Bhagavan Vishnu, which means it will be in the form of potent thoughts in him. So Bhagavan Vishnu, he will have all this niti, the niti of this creation in him. It will merge in him. He will have it. So after some time, when these bejas, when they begin to mature, again Bhagavan Vishnu contemplates on this creation, contemplate on that inside him, the bija forming him. That is why he is called as the Bhuta Bhavanaha. He visualizes the creation based on the thoughts, that is, in the form of potent thoughts in him or potent impressions in the entire creation merges in him, and he brings out the next series of creation. So that is the nidhi for him. The entire creation rests in him during the time of pralaya. It rests in him because he is Avyaya. He cannot be destroyed, so that the creation also cannot be destroyed in a way. They all remain in another form in him. And from that, the next creation begins. So he is called as the Avyaya Niti. In another meaning for a Niti is he is the support or base for everything. And so also he is called as Niti, Avyaya Niti. So that's the meaning of the first six verses of the first line of verse 4, that is the Shloka 4 of Vishnu Sahasranama. The next six words I will explain in my next video. So now, for now, I take a break. कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि. ॐ तत्सत्.